exercise is called The Drunken Man, and it's by somebody called Carmichael. Now, what Carmichael challenges you to do is to think that there is a drunken man or woman or person who is crossing from A to B. You get to roll a dice 12 times, which will determine the direction that person moves. Now, if you roll an odd number, they will move upwards. If you roll an even number, they will move downwards. And what I always ask my classes to do is to predict how many times the person will actually touch the center line in those 12 rolls. Now, most people will tend to say 12 average, probably six times. And they may go a little bit more conservative and go with sort of 5 perhaps. When it comes to, if I say you're going to get 24 rolls, then people seem to think it'll be 12 and so on. You might be thinking this too. But in reality, when you actually start rolling the dice, what you don't tend to find is this very nice, even average pattern. So you don't necessarily, you start here and then get an odd number. So you go there and then get an even number and then get an odd number. It doesn't happen like that. What does tend to happen is you might get an odd number, and then you might get another odd number, and then you might get a third odd number, and then you might get an even number and another even number, but then you might get an odd number, and so on. And already, if that person has gone off course, it can be incredibly difficult to find their way back. And that is just a simple example of how our automatic thoughts or our thinking process, if it is not rooted in reality, but perhaps biased by, in this case, the law of averages, how it can take us off course. And therefore, it is so important when you're problem solving, when you're framing a problem, when you're trying to think of what to do, that you don't go with what you automatically think will happen. It may not be that somebody has got something against you personally. It may not be that somebody has got a character clash with somebody else. It may be something completely different. So be aware of all the possibilities and always try and start with the place of reality, not the assumption.